Hey, everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Advocate Information Highway. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have two very important topics for today's show, two very important ones. And so the first one is a New York City administrative law that desperately needs to be changed. And the second topic, a New York State law that needs to be fixed. So let's get right into this. Let's start off with the first one. There's a New York City law called Administrative Code 7-210, in which this law was created decades and eons ago. And this pathetic, idiotic, moronic law stipulates that if New York City plants a tree on the sidewalk in front of a house, and that tree over time gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the roots of that tree, which of course common sense says that the roots will grow really big as that tree gets bigger too, and the roots of that tree does so much destruction, like it breaks up sidewalks and stuff like that. Now, keep in mind, I said New York City was the one that planted that tree, not that homeowner that the tree is in front of the house of. But New York City planted that tree. Now, let's say that the tree gets bigger and bigger and bigger over time, and the roots of that tree break up a sidewalk. And if somebody, anybody, elderly person, child, whatever, trips, falls, gets hurt over that broken sidewalk, this pathetically idiotic, moronic law stipulates that that person who fell has to sue, get ready for this, the homeowner. Now, keep in mind, that homeowner is not allowed to touch that tree in any way, shape, or form. But this pathetic, moronic law stipulates that the homeowner is responsible for maintaining the sidewalk. Now, the roots of that tree that was planted by New York City destroyed that sidewalk. So it's up to New York State senators and Congress people to get on New York City to change this pathetically idiotic law. Now, I am not a homeowner. I am not a homeowner. I rent an apartment, but I know a lot of people who live in who live throughout the five boroughs of New York City and who own homes. And this is a pathetic, moronic law that New York City has created a long time ago. If a tree grows that big, and this tree was planted by New York City, not the homeowner, by New York City, and the roots from that tree is what's destroying the sidewalk. And the homeowner is not allowed to touch that tree in any way, shape, or form without a permit from New York City. Then if anybody trips over that broken sidewalk, they sue the homeowner. They have to sue the homeowner according to this idiotic law. That is not right, and not in any way, shape, or form. So, New York State senators and Congress people need to get on New York City and get that law changed fast. Really, it's stupid. It's not right at all. Not right at all. Now let's get into the second topic of today's show. New York State law. New York State law stipulates for the CD Pass program, uh, the Consumer Directive Personal Assistance system program, uh, for this particular program, a consumer who falls ill, right, seriously ill, and whatever, they can hire like a sibling, a friend, or even a parent or whatever, and um, or or for a consumer in this particular program, in the CD Pass program, if they want to get into like a CD Pass, join into a CD Pass uh, agency that that's within the CD Pass systems. If they become a client for an agency, and that agency sends like a personal aid, uh, they can join that too. Now, this is great stuff. Don't get me wrong. And like I said, the consumer under this particular program can hire like a sibling, parent, grandparent, whatever, cousin, friend, whatever, to be their personal aid as well. But this particular law for under New York State, it also stipulates that a, spouses cannot be paid as personal aids for their spouses. That's pathetically stupid. Stupid. But they can hire a friend, a neighbor, a sibling, whatever. But they can't hire their spouses. Seriously? That's stupid. Here's something else that's stupid that this idiotic law stipulates. That parents who have children that are minors, like let's say under 17 and under, and if that child becomes severely ill. Now, keep in mind, parents today, some of them have to work like 2, 3, 4 jobs just to support their families, right? Now, if that parent has to take time off to take care of their very sick, let's say permanently ill child, then that parent could end up losing their jobs. Just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. But under this particular law for the CD Pass program, parents who have children that are minors cannot be paid to be personal aids for their sick children. But, yes, I want you to listen. But let's just say if that child is, let's say, 20 or 21 years old, or 22 years old, in the adult age, right, of 18, or in the adult age, right? But if that child who's living at home with their parents, and that child becomes severely ill, permanently ill, then under this law, then the parent can be paid to be a personal aid for their child, but not if their child is a minor. How stupid is that? How stupid is that? Honestly. So again, local elected officials for the state of New York need to get on New York State legislation and get this fixed. It's that these laws are not written correctly. That New York City law, that needs to go. And that law needs to be changed and saying, listen, if the sidewalk is broken because of the roots that are coming from the tree that the city planted, then anybody who may fall over that broken sidewalk has to sue the city. not the homeowner where there's trees in front of the home of. Seriously. And then, like I said, that needs to be fixed. And the New York State law for the CD Pass program, that needs to be amended to where they need to add in that spouses can be paid to be personal aides for their spouses, and parents can be paid to be aides for a personal aid for their children who are minors who are severely or permanently ill. Seriously, come on. Honestly, seriously. It's like people don't think, they don't use their brains. They don't. Common sense stuff. Common sense. But anyways, I want to remind all my fans out there that for the two shows that I host on Spreaker.com, one is called Super Advocate and the other is called Disabled Reality. For those two shows, I have a specific website where all my fans can go to and listen to all the episodes of both of my shows that I just mentioned. And that particular website is titled Super Advocate. And the link to that website is superadvocate.codeadx.me. Okay? And you guys can go to that website, and on there, you guys can listen to all the episodes of both of my shows that I host on Spreaker.com. And also on this particular website, called Super Advocate, you'll see a tab on there called Promo Codes. Okay? And if you click on that tab, you'll see 8 promotions on there. 8 promotions. In which, for the show that I hosted today on Spreaker.com called Super Advocate, there are 4 of those companies, 4 of those promotions that are on that website that Super Advocate supports, in which those 4 are Connie's Fashion Vault, Chill Boys, Hypernatural, and Old Glory. All right, so you guys can check out those websites. Those companies are fantastic. They got great prices. They got great products on there. You guys can check them out. You guys can shop to your heart's content. And I also want to remind all my fans out there about my other website that I have called Advocate Information Highway. The link to there is AIHNY.com. Again, that's AIHNY.com. You guys can check out all the pages on there. And I just want to mention a few of the pages that's on there. One is the blog page. There's a page called Blog. You guys can click on there and you can read my blog page. Another page that's on there is Shows, in which if you guys click on the title of that page, you'll see the 3 shows on there. The 2 shows that I host on Spreaker.com and this show, Advocate Information Highway, in which also on this particular page, you can listen to all the episodes of both of my shows that I host on Spreaker.com, but you can also watch and listen to all the episodes of this show, Advocate Information Highway, on that page as well. Another page that's on this on my website of Advocate Information Highway is Internet Store and Zazzle. If you guys go to that page, you'll see a link on there. And if you guys click on that link, it'll bring you right to my internet store on Zazzle.com, in which you'll see all the products that I designed and that are up for sale on my internet store on Zazzle.com. And again, you guys can shop to your heart's content. And another page that's on my website of Advocate Information Highway is Bookstore on Amazon. If you guys go to this page, you'll see the links to the 3 books that I wrote and that are up for sale on Amazon. And again, you guys can shop to your heart's content. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.